Hey, what's going on YouTube, Facebook, social media? Justin Temple here. And I just wanted to do a video about the fact that Charlie Kirk has really awakened a lot of the Christ consciousness in people. And now that he has been taken from us, it has really started to create a change. And I want to explain to you guys real quick that I'm not religious. I'm the last person that would be doing a message like this. I actually used to be an atheist and not believe in anything other than just like science. And then I started to understand more concepts of science, and it led me more into like the Hindu Buddhist area. And then and I, what I want people to understand real quick is if if there's something that is being battled against so much, then doesn't that mean it's real? So like if so many people are trying to say that Jesus is not the king or whatever, like taking people away from Christianity, which I'm not religious, but if there's something that is being battled against so much, then that's probably a good sign that it's real and that it's something like here's another thing is whenever you say the name Jesus around, evil people, they start to squirm out, right? So it's weird how a word like see I'm just looking at it as like a science point of view, like okay, if a word makes evil people like squirm in their seat, doesn't that mean that that word is actually legitimate, right? Like there's no word that someone could say to me that makes me go, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? But when evil people are told about Jesus, they're like, "Ah," you know what I'm saying? So that's something that's very interesting. And I'm not saying that I have not read the Bible through and through. I have not even read half the Bible. I understand a lot about the Bible through esoteric wisdom, but I'm not a religious person and I use social media for business. And this is the last message that I would really be doing for my profiles. But I just wanted everyone to know that um, there are entities and there are people that want to keep us down and making sure that you realize who people are battling against, right? So, like, if you never know that the United States is battling Japan in World War II, right? If you ever know who the enemies are, you're just gonna be like, oh, pretty lights. Oh boy, that's not good. You know, it's like so you're not really gonna have an understanding of what is even going on up here, right? So having ignorance in the spiritual war is what they want you to have. Okay. So now for the first time today, I actually texted my dad and told him about Jesus, you know? And so I've never done that before. I was like, hey, dad, I just want you to think about something real quick. If the enemy of my enemy is my friend, then everyone wants to defeat Jesus. I think Jesus would be a very good ally. Whether he's a person or not a person or a spirit or a word or I don't know. I don't know everything. But what I do know is that if the enemy of my enemy is my friend and everyone is trying to do bad things that I don't want and they, squirm in their pants about the word Jesus, then I think I should probably pick up the word Jesus more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but here's another thing is I don't like when people talk about religion and do business at the same time. I've actually been very anti that, right? But this is a special moment in the world. And I'm putting business aside. I'm saying, look, don't buy from me. This has nothing to do with any opportunity or joining or buying anything. I just want you to have a I want to pass on I want to live on with Charlie Kirk's memory. Like I don't want him to fade away. I don't want that greatness to disappear. So everything that he stood for, I'm gonna start to embody a little bit more, you know. So I think that's the thing that we can do to honor the people that have been taken from us, that we love, our heroes. Um, so that's just a quick little message. And um, I recommend you do a lot of studying and a lot of research. Do a lot of quantum mechanic research. Like, here's something that, like, I used to be an atheist, but what really started to get me to understand that there's like there's more energies that dictate the world. So like when you see the light slit experiment with the three lights, right? The three colored lights, and then you put the slit in the middle, and then the light goes out the other side. Um, you can see that the world doesn't really actually operate the way that we think it does. And then the first thing that I ever seen that made me really start to think that there's abilities that humans have aside from just like being an evolutionary monkey, um, which may be true. I don't know. But what's something that really showed me the power of humans is there's this old video of like 30, 40 years ago of this woman who has a bladder tumor, and there's like four monks in the room, and they are chanting. They're chanting. And they're chanting a word. It doesn't have anything to do with the word, but it has to do with the belief that they have around the word. Okay. And so these monks were chanting next to this girl with with bladder cancer. It's on video. It's like they were doing an ultrasound live while they were chanting and watching it shrink. And so I'm like, there must be some sort of abilities. There must be some sort of things going on that humans can do. And so that's the first thing that made me awaken from more of an atheist into like Hinduism, Buddhism, love and frequencies and things like that. And then now I'm like, okay, if the love, frequencies, and quantum mechanics are like the science of it, that's great. Okay. So now we can see that everyone's trying to battle Jesus. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And if they're trying to battle him more and more and more, doesn't that mean that he's showing up more and more and more? I don't know. So I just want to let everyone know that I'm picking up Charlie Kirk's memory, and I'm going to go ahead and advocate more for what he believed in. And I even text my dad, you might want to think a little bit more about Jesus. If the enemy of my enemy is my friend, then why not have Jesus on your side? You know, there's no reason not to, right? It's like there's no reason not to. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and embody more of Charlie Kirk's beliefs and how he lived his life and try to be the best person I can, not for Charlie, but for God, you know, glory to God. And so, but Charlie is a hero that we can see, you know, embodied these principles and that became very successful in his life. Everyone knows him. He's very popular. You know, I know the president's the most popular person in the world, and then like Elon, and then maybe some other presidents. But Charlie Kirk's very popular, and he started to affect the youth. So um making sure that children are protected, making sure that young adults are protected, making sure that the mental health of young adults is protected and healed, right? Charlie Kirk was in my opinion, Charlie Kirk is the hero of modern youth. He's the hero of modern youth. He was someone who was let me see the chat real quick. Hey Ari, amen, brother. Good to see you here. And commented a minute ago. Awesome. But yeah, guys, so one thing real quick is like, what now? Well, keep doing what you were doing. Okay. And let's put a little more Jesus in our mornings and before we go to bed. Just say thank you. Oh, do you want to know? Okay, so once I started understanding more quantum mechanics, and this was when I was like 18, but when I started like 10 years ago, when I started learning more about quantum mechanics and Buddhist monks and the powers they have through chanting and all this stuff, I started to be like, okay, let me start this journey. Let me start this journey. And what I started to do was before I went to bed every day is I would just think about what I was grateful for. I would just say what I was grateful for. So gratitude is the beginning of everything. Okay. So if you want to connect with Jesus and talk to Jesus and God, just say thank you for everything that you have. Watch, do that for a month. Like, and then, oh, another thing is what I did is I was not allowed to say what I was grateful for today as the same thing I did yesterday. It had to be something new. And it had to be like multiple things, right? Like every night before you go to bed, say 10 things that you're grateful for. And then the next night, you can't say the same 10 things and do that. And that's what really started my journey into spirituality, whatever you want to say. And so my life started to change a lot, and I started to change a lot. And so that's something that is very powerful that you can do, whether you believe in XYZ or whatever, it doesn't matter. Use gratitude. Okay, so be grateful for everything before you go to bed and when you wake up, and make a list of those things. And then you can't use that same list the next night. So you end up literally going through everything that you could possibly ever think of and being grateful for it. You're like, I'm grateful for water. Wait, I said that yesterday. I'm grateful for all the people that work in the power plants and manufacturing plants to make sure that I have water. Oh, okay. Well, I'm grateful for the manufacturing plant. I said that yesterday. Well, now I'm grateful for the earth in the cosmos because now they put the water on the earth. I have no idea how it got here. And thank you for the human beings that were magically put here by whatever. I have no idea. We have no idea. And so now I got water. Thank you for the water. Thank you, God. It's like that's how you get to God. As you literally start to be so grateful for things, and you don't be grateful for the same, well, you are grateful for everything every day, but you don't list that thing that day. You only list it for one day. Then you have to find something new, right? If you're like, I'm grateful to be able to eat. Okay. I'm great now. The next day, you can't say you're grateful for food and eat. You have to say something like, I'm grateful to have a supermarket to go to the store so I don't have to hunt and gather and make my life entirely about hunting and gathering. Wow. Okay, cool. Thanks, society. And then the next day you're like, well, I can't stay talk about the stores. Well, thank you for all the truck drivers. Thank you for all the truck drivers that bring the food to us, right? And then the next day you're like, well, I can't talk about truck driver. Well, thank you for all the farmers. Thank you for all the farmers and all the animals. Thank you for their sacrifice for us to eat. Thank you for their life. Thank you so much. And then the next day you're like, well, thank you for the sun for giving the plants life and allowing the animals to eat the plants so that I can even have something to eat. And then you're like, well, thank you, solar system, for making the sun so that we can have something warm. It's like you literally start to become so grateful, and you start to chunk up. You go from small grateful to such big gratefulness that it starts to change your entire perspective. It starts to change your entire worldview. It starts to unlock your heart, and that's how you increase your vibration. I challenge you for 1 week, for just 7 days. I'm not saying that you have to believe in anything different. I'm just saying for the next 7 days, every morning and every night when you go to bed, say 10 things that you're grateful for. That's it. And the only rule is that you can't say the same thing that you did yesterday or the day before, the day before, the day before. Right? You can't have duplicates. No duplicate content. Okay? I challenge you, try that. See what happens. See how your heart unlocks, see how your perspective start to unlock and change for the better. Not that your beliefs change. No, I'm not asking you to change your beliefs. I'm not asking you to believe in anything different. I'm just saying, hey, thanks for the phone. And then tomorrow, hey, thanks for the people that make the phone. And then the next day, hey, thanks for the people that go into the mines and mine the stuff. Hey, thanks for the people that thought of it. Hey, thanks for the ether. Hey, thanks for the ether that creates the thoughts that we have, right? You start to actually chunk up into things greater than yourself. So I'm not saying, hey, change beliefs or anything like that. I'm saying be grateful for what you have in the morning and at night, and make a list of 10 of them every time, but you can't say the same thing as the previous day. That's what I did. And I did it myself at like 18 years old, and it really started to change everything about me. It really started to make me go from someone that was like in what's that word? Introvert, like an introvert. It made me go from an introvert to more passionate and more excited and more ready to handle life. Okay. So a lot of people that have mental illness, a lot of these people, like these college people and kids, one of the greatest things that you could ever do is just be grateful for the things that you have. And that will calm down a lot of your mental stuff. It really will. It really will. Okay. And do that for a week. Try it. So, anyways, um, not here to change people's beliefs or anything. I don't want you to buy anything from me. I'm just making a video because I think it's important and I want to embody Charlie Kirk's beliefs. And the lady um oh man, I forgot the name already. Let's see. But the lady that was in the subway, right? I know it starts with an I. I just don't want to get it wrong because I don't want to say her name wrong. Um but like it's time to start sticking up for ourselves, okay? And there are forces that battle us. Okay? So have a great day, guys. Remember to be grateful for everything that you have. Make a list of it and then do that every day. Irena, right. Irena. Absolutely. I was gonna say around like I know it's like IR, but I didn't want to get the name wrong. Yeah. So, I want to embody and remember more like so why did Irena come to the United States? She came here to be free and to have a life and have a chance. And she's a beautiful woman and every woman's beautiful and she could have had children and so like I want to make sure that like how do I embody Irena in I talked about Charlie, so how do we embody Irena, right? Well, remember that women deserve to be protected. And remember that like when you see injustice in front of you, it's good to have the ability to stop it. Okay. And that's why our Second Amendment exists. Okay. So with Irena, like my grandma is an immigrant from Italy. So I look at Irena and I'm like, that could have been my grandma, right? What if my grandma got on a subway bus or what subway or bus, I forget. And like what if that happened to your grandma or my grandma, right? How many of us have immigrant grandparents? I do. I most certainly do. My grandpa is from Germany and my grandma's from Italy. And then my dad's side, they're from like America, Irelandish. Okay. With some native blood. So like when I look at Irena, I'm like, that's a mom. Like that's like she could have given birth to the next great president, to the next great, person to impact our lives. And so that's a big shame, right? So I want to make sure that we protect women. We know don't let these, don't be like in Florida and be like, oh yeah, these delusional women are great. But on the serious side, like women need to be protected, okay? And I think the world has gotten to a point where like the feminism stuff has really gotten to where men don't really even want to protect women anymore. We're like we're not even like opting in for it anymore. We're not opting in for dating. We're not opting in for protecting women anymore. And it's gotten to that point. And it's not our fault. It's something that has been leveraged on us like levers, like machine levers. It's a puppeteer. And so we must remember to love each other and to be able to lift each other up. Okay. So also defend yourself. Okay. Second Amendment. Okay. I live in America. I don't know where you live, but defend yourself. Okay. If Irena had a Second Amendment on that bus, she might have been more aware because she would have been able to defend herself. Right. So, and then like remember that women actually need the Second Amendment more than men. Okay, it's actually like nowadays it's more for them. Okay, because we're like men are like MMA guys now. They're like ninja assassins now. Like we watch ninja assassins in the cage now. Like men are like incredibly strong. Like it's women need to defend themselves. Like women need the self-defense way more. So when it comes to females and women and immigrants and people like Irena, they need to be protected. They need to have their rights. But another thing is she was a refugee, so I don't know how the laws work as far as being able to be a citizen and have rights and stuff like that. Um, but on the other side, there were Americans around her, and for some reason, they didn't help her. And so William says robotic women would only be better than real ones about 20 years. I don't know about that. I don't think a robot will ever be better than a real person. Um, in the last days, evil increase. Jesus is the answer. Yep, absolutely, Alicia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so yeah, Alicia is I'm sure the Irena thing hits hard with her too. Like she's like, what if I was on the bus? Like, what if my daughter was on the bus? What if your daughter's on that bus? Right? It's just really bad, really bad. So remember that if evil is always trying to keep you away from God, Polaris, Jesus, and esoteric wisdom, then let's go more into that. I'm not religious. I'm one of the last religious people, but I am a realist and I am someone that looks at stuff and I do gather data. And I'm like, okay, if the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is one of the greatest quotes ever, then why not partner with Jesus? Right? I want to protect kids. I want to protect women. I want to be alive. I want to be safe. I don't want to have to protect. See, it's like I don't want to have to protect women, right? Like, why do we have to live in a society where that's something where it's like an option every day when we go out? That shouldn't even be a thing. Like people should be safe, and so I'm all for what's going on in in the like the how do I want to say it the ice cubes. The ice cubes. I'm all for the ice cubes. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then Golden Arc says, "What do you think about Pal?" Okay, you think about what do you think about Pal though? What does that even mean? Like, no one cares about that. It doesn't even matter. So, let's see. So Alicia says, "True religion is to care for children and widows, the sick, and the poor." Absolutely, yeah, most certainly. And most of us are actually on the side of Jesus and on the side of God if we just if we just realize what was going on around us, right? It's like, okay, those people are hurting young young people. Okay. These people are trying to save these people. Okay. Which one do I want to be on? Hmm. It's like it's not even a sports team. It's like you're either horrible or you're good. You're either like so anyways. Hey Golden Arc, that doesn't matter. Like, what do you think about them? Right? What do you think about them? Okay. What do you think about them? Because they don't even matter. They're not people. They don't matter. What's the whole point of it? Why are you even asking me about that? Right? Okay. They're just anti-America. So they don't like what is there to even talk about? It's not like, oh, the number one player, the MVP, the point it's like the center, like Golden Art, get out of here. Um, so anyways, have a wonderful day, guys. And I'm going to I'm not gonna be like talking about Jesus in all my videos and stuff and doing that stuff because I really don't like when people do business and then talk about religion and things like that. I think it's a little bit manipulative. And maybe someone's not trying to manipulate like that. Maybe it is really from the heart. But I'm not gonna be like business and Jesus at the same time. This is a message only with Jesus. William says, I find that politicians will say that we should be thoughtful and pray, but they never do. Right. Like they ask you to donate to charity, right? Right. Everyone's like, oh, donate to charity, right? Well, how about you donate to charity? Remember Charlie said, was that Charlie that said that? No, that was Tucker Carlson. Remember Tucker Carlson's like, why don't you donate to charity? To Mark Cuban, right? Like, why don't you donate? What? Oh, evil control, right? So all right. So like, I hope Tucker Carlson stays safe. Tucker, Tucker, like who's like? It's like okay, now what? Now what? Is it just gonna kind of go away and not happen for another few years, or is there something that's going to happen again? And so there's a difference between faith and religion. Absolutely. Religion is called religion. So a legion is an army. Okay. So a religion is actually an army. That's what religion is. So that's man made, right? Churches and religion are man made to create armies, right? Because that's how kings used to create armies. Okay, they didn't like it was all based off of the culture and protecting the culture and protecting their God, right? So yeah, like religion is a man-made construct for kings to be able to create armies. Faith and love and authenticity and Jesus and God are actually the actual things to believe in, right? So yeah, that's a good point, William. Faith and religion are definitely different. So have a great day, everyone. William says, wow, thanks. Absolutely. Yeah, I know a lot about this stuff that I'm not saying. But if you want to mention anything else, you're more than welcome to. So but yeah, guys, Alicia says, I thought the same thing about talking about Jesus and biz on the same platform, but we are in the last days and we are running out of time to fight against them, evil, so I feel it's our duty to share. I feel that way too. I really do. I'm like business and I'm like business and Jesus, not religion, but business and Jesus. I'm a little bit reluctant on mixing them, but you're right, Alicia. Where it's like if you're in business, do you want to do business with the evil people or the people that love our children and love our widows and love our sick? I think I would rather do business, even if I make less money, right? I'd rather make 1,000 to 3,000 bucks a month, make way less money if I'm on the side of Jesus. Okay, because that means that we are a culture of people that will help each other and lift each other up. And we can always create success. Okay, success is abundant. So I feel you, Alicia. I'm all on that. And I even tore someone apart like a few weeks ago on them reading scriptures while doing an MLM webinar, which is a little bit different. Like just straight up reading scriptures is not really talking about Jesus and the things that are happening in the world. So I understand, and we are in the end. We are in some sort of end time of some kind, and it seems like it's a little bit more worth it now to talk about Jesus. And I'm gonna keep Jesus separate from my business. Like I'm gonna talk about him, the Lord, the King in an individual video, and then you guys can watch business videos separately, right? So yeah, Alicia says love the Jesus, love of Jesus Christ to set the captives free. Absolutely. And William Jones says faith resulted from the oral tradition. Religion perverted after the words got written down. Right. The original religion was music, sounds, right? And in the beginning, God spoke the word, which is sounds. So music is the original language of God. It's the vibrational music, the frequencies, right? So Matt Williams on a point right there. Um, So like I know a lot about this stuff if you really want to talk about some things. Like the oral tradition, that's a very good point. So the songs, And the chants and the dances were the original way to connect. And it's still a way to connect. And also, there's science that shows that when people sing and chant around a fire, and in the old days, there was mycelium under the floor, under the dirt, and it would grow the things around them more. This is true. There's true. So, yeah, like chanting, music, tuned to the right frequency, and words were the original, right? And then once it got written down, it was able to it was able to be edited, right? So yeah, very important. So like the original three sounds are Om, Ra, and O. So O, Ah, O, O, Ah, Those are the three original sounds. And then in stories, there's said that there's sounds or angels that break through the firmament. It's sounds, you know. So the angels in heaven are always singing. Right. Exactly. That's the stars. The stars are frequencies in the sky. They're always singing, right? They're always vibrating. They're always singing. Right, that's exactly what that means. Right. And so that's why the Egyptian pyramids point towards stars. It points towards the frequency. It points towards the vibration, right? And so there's more wisdom to the Bible. There's more wisdom as to how these things connect, right? So Alicia says the angels in heaven are always singing. Absolutely. That's why the Egyptians built pyramids to the stars, right? That's a version of the angels is the stars. Okay. And they watch over us, right? So then William says when he gave an example of prayer, Jesus did so in the spirit of prayer. Absolutely. In the spirit of prayer, not in the spirit of another God, not in the spirit of no, in the spirit of actually prayer. Right. Absolutely. That's a very good point, William. Thank you for bringing that up. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Alicia. Thanks, William. And I'm not really a Bible thumper, not really a Jesus guy. I am a Jesus guy now. I have been for like the past 2-3 years, but now I'm like I texted my dad about Jesus this morning. Okay, so I'm actually on Jesus's side now. I'm not like no. I'm like you know what I don't care whether it's real or not, or a person or not a person, or a word or a frequency or whatever. Jesus is Lord. Okay. And then think about it. In order to remember a remedy, a memory was presented in a chant. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And remember, I told you about the monks and how I watched a video, and that video showed me the power of chants and prayer. That if you believe something is already done, okay, how do you pray? Okay, here's the power of prayer and how to pray. And this is something that people don't understand, but they do understand. Okay. And so the power of prayer is really manifestation. Something really easy to compare prayer to is like Think and Grow Rich. Okay, I'm in business. A lot of people are in business that I in my audience. But when you think about what you want every day and you embody it and you believe it as if it's already real, that is what prayer is. Okay, so when the monks in that video that I seen of them ultrasounding a woman's bladder tumor and them chanting for they only chanted for like 6 to 8 minutes. It wasn't like it wasn't like a week of it was like in 6 minutes that thing was gone, and it was live on the ultrasound on the screen. And so how did they do that? Well, they did that through prayer, through manifestation. And how does that work? Well, it works as they believe they seen her as healed. They seen her as healed, and they pulled that future into the present moment by chanting and by actually believing in what they were saying. And do you want to know what they were saying? this is something that is pretty profound. They weren't saying Jesus. So, what they were chanting to heal this woman in the non-medicine hospital is they were chanting already done in their language. Already done. Already done. Already done. So it's words are important, chants are important, but it's not the actual letters that you're saying in the order of the letters. It's the belief that you embody into the chant. So if I go om om, but I think about my pineal gland and I think about my dreams and what I want and God, that will be my manifestation. Now I can do better. There's other sciences to it, but you don't have to go home. You could write down your goals every day and practice Think and Grow Rich. Does that make sense? So it's not the ability to manifest and pray and use the magic of the Lord for good is not necessarily an exact science of the exact words and letters to say in the order. It is the heart. It is the heart magnetism that you put into the chant of the vibration. You vibrate and then you magnetize. You vibrate with the chant and magnetize with the heart. And that is what a prayer is. So when you pray, you don't want to say, oh, please, Lord. Oh, please, Lord, I hope for a Lamborghini. Oh, man, I hope I can make 10 grand a month. Oh, man, like, Lord, Lord. That's not prayer. Prayer is I command myself to do everything every day to serve the God in Jesus to the best that I can and to serve the people that are on this planet. And I will serve them in a way where I am able to give them a service or a product where they are able to pay me for it and I am able to benefit from it as well. And we engage in ethical business and we engage in helping people around the world. And I declare this to the universe and I declare this to myself and I declare this to all people in the world. If you want to actually build a business and actually change your life and actually be on the side of righteousness, then find this light. Listen to the universe, and we will eventually be together. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, in prayer's name, thank you, God. That is a real prayer. Not, oh, I hope and pray that people come find me. Oh, I hope and pray that like so that is a real prayer. Does that make sense? So, let's see. Luca says, always positive vibes. Thank you, Justin T. Prayer is good. Hello to everyone and live happy, blessed day today. Absolutely, brother. Thank you, Luca. Have a blessed day as well. And Alicia, yes, but Think and Grow Rich twists the truth and makes selfish. Yeah, absolutely. It's more of a financial thing, right? But the principles are still the same is embody what you want every day, think about it, be grateful for it, write it down. So yeah, I definitely see what you mean, Alicia. And then Ari's like 100%. Alicia says faith is the only way that we please God. And then William says very few broke things down in the past. Paper was expensive. Yeah, I wonder how expensive paper was. Like it must have been really hard to make a lot of paper. And also you need a lot of paper to write down all this stuff. Like they literally built pyramids with all of it and like they didn't use paper, they used stone, right? Like I wonder how expensive the stone was. So paper 50,000 tonestones. Yeah, that's funny. So, anyways, hope you have a great day, guys. And I'm gonna end the video. I'll see you on the inside. I'll see you on the conscious side. Okay. Anoint your consciousness. Also another thing is a lot of religious people think that like the third eye and stuff is like demonic and stuff. Like that's what they want you to think so that you don't awaken. Okay. So understand a lot of the things that you need to study and to learn and to manifest and to actually pray. are the things that are told not to look at. Okay. So study, 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 learn, 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 and take away bad wisdom and keep good wisdom like Bruce Lee. Okay. Take away the useless and keep the good. Okay. And you'll eventually be like, this book says a lot of the same things as this book. Hmm. Well, if we take out all the things that the kings say about, the marriage and, blah, 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 then it looks like these books pretty much say about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So study. Okay, study. Do your own research. ID says Charlie Kirk made me wish to see. That doesn't even make any sense. So you're a bad person. Um, so like Charlie Kirk made me wish to see division in America. That's a horrible thing to say. Like, why would you ever want to say that? So, the third eye simply being self-aware. Right, absolutely. Alicia says, thanks, God bless. God bless you, Alicia. And then ID says, being able to manifest things requires self-awareness. Absolutely. You know. And then William says, without careful study, one might think we have one mouth, but we have two. Ah, interesting. Interesting. I guess that would be how you frequency and then how you speak, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know everything, right? Maybe William could teach me something, right? Maybe what is our heart? Is it our heart in our mouth, or is it our mouth in our throat? I don't know. Maybe you can teach me, William. So, like, I'm not the most knowledgeable person, okay? I'm not perfect, but right, yeah. Isn't that crazy, Alicia? Um, he was trying to set free the very people that who annihilated him, right? So isn't that interesting? So isn't it interesting how Jesus is showing us who is eliminating? Hmm, I don't know. Interesting. And then William says breathing and eating, absolutely. Yep, breathing and eating are the two mouths. Yep, that's a good point. I appreciate you, brother. We got ID. I just like to see people for once being themselves and happy. I don't know. Really? So ID jailbreak says, I just like to see people for once being themselves and happy. But yet, up here, he says, um, Charlie Kirk made me want to see division in America. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, dude, you're all over the place. And then ID says, sorry, that was wrong to say. Well, thank you for apologizing for that. We're not here like no, just no, thank you for saying that. So you are on the good side now. You're not on the bad side. Okay. Realize that we're not here to stand for bad stuff. Okay. I appreciate you, ID. Thank you. You're a real man. Okay. Well, I don't know what you. Oh boy. I'm just kidding. Like you're a they them. I'm just fucking around. It's a joke. So, but anyways, appreciate you, brother. Okay. So, don't jump on him. Okay. We appreciate you. So, when someone says sorry, leave it be. Okay. So, can you please smile, Jesus? I am almost done. Well, you can ask him. Okay. Uh, they they annihilated Jesus for speaking truth. Absolutely, absolutely. And Ari's laughing over there. Um, but yeah, so like Alicia says they annihilated him for speaking truth. And yeah, absolutely, brother. Like it's cool, better recognize mistakes than to continue. Absolutely. Yeah, like that's love. That's love. All love, man. And so it's okay to make it's so like I wouldn't even consider that a mistake. Now that you said sorry, it's not even a mistake. It's just something. So just a little internet comment, not a big deal. Okay. Thank you. And then Nanology says if you need stories for inspiration from an ancient book, I guess that's what you need. Um, I don't know. Um, it's not really inspiration, it's more knowledge and wisdom. So, hey, Nanology, how you doing? Thanks for commenting. Um, if you need stories for inspiration from ancient books, it's not inspiration. They're like you guys like you realize, Nanology, that that these ancient tablets and books teach you sacred wisdom, you know? So it's actually more about learning about magic and learning about how to manifest and learning about what the Egyptians studied and the Sumerians and how to use the copper, the iron, the minerals, the quartz, the limestone, the gold, the silver to actually increase our frequencies and connect it to the stars so that we can actually have a universal connection. So the books are not necessarily for inspiration, nanology. So it's more for actually like, oh, for example, oh, he says like what? Okay, so check this out. Um, a lot of our technology comes from the ancient wisdoms. So, like for example, if you look at the pyramids and how the pyramids are set from a bird's eye view, you'll see that the landscape of the pyramids from a bird's eye view is actually the exact same as a microchip, as a computer hardware. And you'll see that the actual technology that we have is actually us putting the what we have found in Egypt in a smaller compact thing. You see, they dealt with stones, sand, and other materials. They didn't deal with this. They didn't go this route, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is if you look at um the Tibetan monk monasteries, you can see that they have these pillars. These pillars are they look like they look like these waves or these circles. They look like circles stacked on top of each other, but like some are smaller and bigger and wider. It's actually frequency. And so there's a lot about the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Emerald Tablets, and the ancient wisdom that we have learned from. Here's another thing. You see all churches, they're not churches. They're power plants. You guys realize that the cathedrals and all the things like you guys realize that there's balls of mercury and copper at the top of it, right? There's balls of mercury and copper at the top, which spins. So the atmosphere energy causes um sorry, my sinuses are acting up. So the energy causes the mercury to spin with a copper wire, and so that energy creates friction and brings electricity down. So you literally pyramids are energy plants, and churches are the same technology as pyramids. But we're told that, oh, we don't know what the Egyptians knew. No, we do. It's already existent. We already use it. Okay. So that's something. Another thing that was interesting that I learned recently is like um the jet engines are jet engines for planes. Now, please go do your own research on this stuff. But they say that they fit 40,000 gallons of fuel in those wings. Okay. Those wings are like this wide and super long. It's like I don't the math ain't mathin'. So the reality is that turbine engines on planes use magnetism once it gets to a certain speed to keep going. It doesn't use fuel from point A to point Z. It uses fuel at point A, and then when it lifts off and hits a certain speed, it uses the atmospherical magnetism to keep going. There's not 40,000 pounds, there's not 40,000 gallons of fuel in those wings. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just something I learned recently though. So like but I don't care about planes and stuff. It's not a plane conspiracy. It's just I'm explaining that our technology has come from ancient Tibetan monasteries, ancient Hindu buildings and the Egyptians and stuff like that. So Yeah, and analogy asks the great question, like what? I'm happy to explain. I'm happy to talk about things. Um, it pretty rude to disrespect the dead's knowledge? The dead don't own knowledge. Only the living own knowledge. So no, it's not, Mister. No, it's not, Mr. Jailbreak. Okay. And also, the real people that are good that died want to have knowledge passed on. Does that make sense? So if you're a kung fu warrior or a taekwondo master or a Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert, it's not disrespectful to pass down Gracie Brazilian jiu-jitsu once Gracie's gone, right? That's not disrespectful. So good question, right? That's a very good question. A lot of people are scared to dive into ancient wisdom, maybe because of ancestry. That's a great question, right? The word was from the beginning, knowledge and truth that created everything. Yep, the word was from the beginning, right? The vibrational music, the frequency was from the beginning, and it created everything. Yep. That's another thing about being born in the sin is the sine wave is actually a frequency. Um, there's more to it and stuff. The Old and New Testaments were oral, they express the will of God. Awesome. And then, oh, you take it to a whole other level, I see. Yep. I'm a very knowledgeable person on this stuff. Jailbreak says, I wouldn't say the Bible created it, but I wouldn't say the Bible created, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say the Bible created, but it definitely, but it defined anything. It's, it's a little interesting. Okay. I wouldn't say the Bible created, but it does define anything. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Um, laugh my ass off, fucking stupid. Oh, okay. And then, what about breeding animals in front of striped sticks? I don't even know what that means. Okay, so I'm not talking about like I'm just talking about the fact that I'm embodying more Charlie Kirk and wanting to protect women more. And I see Irena is like my grandma that came over from Italy, and she could have been whacked just the same as Irena. So it's like we're talking more about that stuff, and but I'm happy to talk about ancient wisdom, technology, and esoteric stuff as well. Um, but see, that also ends up scaring away people that are Christian, right? So religion is not Christ, okay? Christ is Christ. Religion is a society, but then there's an inner society within the society. Okay, that's all religions. Okay. So a lot of the stuff that I know, if I talk about, like remember the Tibetan monks and the esoteric wisdom and how our technology comes from the pyramid, like Christians don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this stuff, right? So it's a little bit of like I'm not really religious or Christian, right? I'm more on esoteric knowledge. Okay. So esoteric knowledge says Jesus is the original top G, right? Jesus was the original top G. He was battling the Matrix from the beginning, right? So I think that's awesome. I'd rather be someone trying to earn his love that I know he loves anyways, but I'd rather be worthy of his love than not have him on my side. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So, anyways, the United States Constitution is a written testament because it is the will of the people, right? Absolutely. It is the will of the people. So, anyways, guys, hope you have a great day. And I'm going to end the video and go make some breakfast in about an hour or two. And hope you have a great day. And remember Charlie Kirk, remember Irena, and we're her name is Irena Zarutsa. 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 Okay. Irena Zarutsa. So we love her, we love her family, and let's remember to protect people. Okay. Have a great day.